The South China Sea, is it controlled by China? Well, they certainly think they have the right to control it. They claim sovereignty over more than 80% of this body of water. And it's a very important body of water because it's a conduit for roughly 1/3 of global maritime trade. We're talking about trade worth over $5 trillion. And it's also believed that the South China Sea has vast oil and gas reserves. So you can see why China wants to assert their dominance over this region. But here's the thing. They're not the only ones who want a piece of the pie. Let's take a look at this map. Who else has claims over the South China Sea? Well, we have Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Taiwan, Vietnam. That's 6 other countries plus China, a total of 7. Now, some of these countries have internal disputes of their own. For example, Indonesia against Malaysia, the Philippines against Malaysia, and then you have China against Taiwan and Vietnam. So what is the basis of these claims? Well, we made a previous video explaining China's claim over the South China Sea, how they base it on a 9-dash line. You can check out that video for more information. But today we're going to focus on the other countries and their conflicting claims. Let's start with Indonesia. Their claim overlaps with Chinese and Malaysian claims. In 2016, Indonesia submitted an official protest to the UN over the overlapping claims. However, in 2021, the 2 countries agreed to set up a joint development area for oil and gas exploration. Then we have the Philippines. They base their claim over the South China Sea on a 2016 ruling by a UN court. The ruling was that China's 9-dash line had no legal basis. However, despite the ruling, China still refuses to recognize Philippine claims over the South China Sea. Then we have Malaysia. They have overlapping claims with Indonesia, the Philippines, and China. Tensions were high in 2016 when a Chinese research vessel entered Malaysian waters. But overall, Malaysia has taken a more neutral stance compared to other countries. They are trying to avoid provoking China and have refused to allow the US Navy to enter their ports. Next up, we have Taiwan. Their claim overlaps with that of China and Vietnam. Since 1946, Taiwan has been referring to the South China Sea as the Taiwan Strait. However, in 2013, the name was officially changed to the South China Sea. And finally, we have Vietnam. They have overlapping claims with China, Taiwan, and Malaysia. Just like the Philippines, Vietnam also took China to court. But unlike the Philippines, the ruling was not in Vietnam's favor. So as you can see, the South China Sea is a very sensitive issue. There are so many conflicting claims from various countries, and it's a very important region, both strategically and economically. We hope you enjoyed this quick overview of the situation in the South China Sea. If you did, please subscribe and leave us a comment. Thanks for watching.